Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Larisa Dannis after her second place finish here at the Western States 100. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Were you expecting anything like that?
Absolutely not.
We haven't interviewed you before, so I'd love to hear a little bit about your running background. You're obviously quite a strong runner.
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, I got into it, you know, somewhat recently, about 4 years ago. I started out as a hiker in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, and I increasingly put together longer and longer, you know, length hikes, and eventually learned that I could, you know, go a little faster if I ran the downhills. And it's like ultra running was a natural progression. So one year I paced at the Vermont 100K, and I kind of found my calling. And since then I've just been, you know, looking to be the best I can be and figure out how to train for this stuff.
That's amazing. That's inspiring to be 4 years into a running career and run an incredible Western States. How have you done in the hundreds in the past?
So I mean, my first few were absolutely non-competitive. I guess just to step back, inherently I'm not a competitive person. You know, I love to have fun with these things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that I run. And you know, it's really been the last, I guess, year and a half that I really found my groove with the training and things, and I've really been able to improve. So my first 200s were Rocky, Raccoon, and Vermont. And I think my first Rocky I finished in 25 hours. I just broke 24 at Vermont, and since then I've just, you know, been able to.
And how many years ago was that? 2 or 3?
Yeah, it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, what a progression. Since you love that hiking background, do you find yourself drawn to just longer workouts, or do you mix some intensity into your training?
So I've actually switched things up recently, and I follow largely a marathon training plan. So I do you know, easy days, you know, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. I'll do a workout on Wednesdays, and then I'll do a lot of long runs on the weekends, and I'll tweak those depending on what I'm training for. You know, if I'm doing something shorter like a 50 or a marathon, I'll do those, you know, with more like of a, you know, speed type, you know, focus. But if I'm doing something like 100, and this one was quite funny because I literally got in like and had 5 weeks to train. You know, I'll do something a little more challenging in the mountains. That's slower but more elevation and time on your feet.
So were you planning to run a 100-miler this season, or did?
I got into Cascade Crest, so that was the race on my radar, and you know, then I ran Ice Age 19 days after Boston, and I wasn't fully recovered, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it for fun, and I got the Western States entry, and it was just too good to pass up, you know. So I was like, all right, I have 5 weeks, you know, we can work with this. And
so you're not super competitive, but you like to race because you ran Boston 2:44.
I did, yes.
Then you ran, a week ago, you ran Mount Washington.
Yes.
And Ice Age after Boston, then Mount Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I love being at races, and I think it's more like, it's like a personal challenge for me. I love, you know, seeing what I can do, but I don't like racing against other people. So that's why I really try to pace via my heart rate, and, you know, I kind of have like a goofy style, as you probably saw. I'm very upbeat, and I think it really helps with the 100. So.
Yeah, I remember you finishing and telling your family or your crew that you kept it aerobic all day, and that was your goal. That was your only goal.
So and that's the whole heart rate thing. I mean, like, you know, I love to climb in Mount Washington, you know, so like I knew going up the escarpment, this is something that I'm gonna want to like just like, you know, like get into low gear and just haul up that thing. But like I was like, all right, no. Goal for Western States, 100% aerobic, you know, keeping it in that range. So like every time I kind of hit that upper range, I just go into a power hike for a bit, and I think it really saved my legs, and it enabled me to run a steady race throughout, which was my top priority.
There was a little confusion. People thought you had dropped out.
I heard this.
Did you just miss did you not see your crew there?
No, so actually, what I heard happened is my fiance was running, and he dropped out at mile 16 and was trying to find my family. And so like there was some miscommunication that, you know, because he was using my number that I had dropped because he dropped. That's what I heard, and I mean, I don't know the details. All I know is that I turned on my phone after the race, and everyone was like, "I'm so sorry you dropped," and I'm like, "No, I didn't. I just." It
was such a shock because you all day, and especially coming to Robinson, you were just smiling and whooping it up and having fun with it.
You know, and I think it's so important with 100-milers in particular, just to keep that positive approach and stay in the moment, because it's so easy to fall into those lows, and you know, if you let them get to you, especially if you're just being negative, like it can really ruin your day. So like my approach is, you know, I first and foremost, I do this because I love to run. And I mean, if I didn't love to run, I wouldn't be doing this. And even when I'm doing 100, I mean, of course I'm going to hit points where I'm not feeling, super awesome. But, like, just staying positive. I mean, it reminds me of why I do this. And, I mean, yesterday I just can't believe what happened.
Did you have any low points?
Yes. Between Forest Hill and Rucky Chucky, I hit a little bit of a low, but I mean, I was surprised that I was able to still keep a pretty steady pace going. And I had a wonderful pacer with me. She came out from Connecticut. She's another big ultra runner from out there, and she really helped me get through that. And I mean, but I love that challenge as well. Like it's the reason I kind of love hate hundreds. Like you're going to hit low points at some point, and you want to prepare for how you're going to deal with those. And I love that kind of mental preparation, because it makes them more fulfilling when the race is more fulfilling when you finish.
And what was the best moment from yesterday?
Oh gosh, crossing the American River. Oh,
and why?
Because it was so nice and cool. I love it. And actually, it was really fun. And between Devil's, before Devil's Thumb, there was a pretty good water crossing too. And I didn't realize we were gonna have to go in the water. They had a rope set up. Oh, it was like a big surprise, welcome surprise. So I'm like running down there, and I'm like, I see the rope, and I'm like, oh yes, and I'm just there, and I could just like keep myself nice and cool. It was awesome.
Obviously, you were thinking about your, taking care of yourself, running by heart rate, but did you ever get into sort of competitive mode? 'Cause it must be hard not to.
So, I mean, I had no intentions of trying to, go really hard and catch Stephanie, because she's so strong. At the end, you'd hear people behind you, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if that's like, Pam or like Casey, because they're such good like closers, and I was like, so I mean, I was letting it get to me a little bit at the end, but like, once again, I was like, I'm here to run my own race. It's my first year at Western States, and I told all of my friends before the race, I just want to enjoy the experience.
Did you?
And I did. I mean, I had a ball out there. I had so much fun, and it's just, I mean, like, there's just so much energy. Like, you go into the aid stations, and everyone is just so excited that you're there, and they go above and beyond to support runners, and I had a blast.
So you are still so new to hundreds, or running in period, and you're on this really quick ascendancy. I mean, what can you dream of?
What's pretty crazy is I'm trying to figure out like what I should focus on, because I've had a lot of success with road marathoning. I love like the hill climbs and stuff. I just love running uphill. I seem to be best suited to 50s and marathons when it comes to just like my distance. I love hundreds, so I just feel lucky that I can do it all. And life's too short not to, that's why I did Mount Washington the week before Western States, because it's a race that I love. And
I hang my head because I saw that. I'm like, oh, she's not going to take Western States seriously. But you just love it.
And it was a compromise. I was like, can I run up and I won't run down? I promise I won't run down. And it was, I mean, you have to do what you love. And I love to run. And sure, it's a week out, but I was like, I'm just doing both of them for fun. So it was good.
So do you have something lined up for next weekend?
Not yet. I mean, I think I'm going to take a little break from racing, because I've just done so much this year. And it's just been a great year so far.
You'll go to Cascade, though?
I think so. So this is my year of DNF redemption. That's the reason I did Rocky, because I DNF'd there in their horrible rain year.
Okay.
And I was like, I need to go back. And I signed up way before it was like a Montreal Ultra Cup race, which like, so I signed up. I'm like, just going to go there and have fun. And then all of a sudden it becomes a super competitive race. And I'm like, why did I sign up for it this year? And so I'm definitely going to go back to Cascade, even if I'm walking the whole thing, from like mile 60. I want to redeem myself.
There's some good views after mile 60 at Cascade.
I've actually done the whole course, because I've paced it from Hyack on, and I've run up to mile 60 in my own race. So
you don't want to relay this thing. You just want to go one shot.
Exactly, and just have a ball with it. I mean, it's such a beautiful course, and I mean, Washington's a cool state, and I love to travel, so it should be good.
Any other races or adventures you got lined up for the summer?
That's it right now. I guess the big adventure is I'm moving to San Francisco next month, so it's a pretty big adventure.
What's drawing you to San Francisco?
Work.
Well, it's a long way from the White Mountains.
It's a long way, but I mean, it's a good opportunity, and what's the worst that can happen? I have to move back.
And what's your work that you're moving out there for?
So I work for a software company called Autodesk, and I do web marketing.
Okay.
So it's an awesome job. It's a wonderful company that they, you know, give me that work-life balance so I can pursue my running and also, you know, just, you know, have the flexibility to work when needed.
Are you excited to move into yet another very vibrant running community?
I can't wait, because New Hampshire doesn't have so much of an endurance community. I mean, there are people that trail run, but it's not like, you know, like a lot of longer distances.
Yeah.
So I'm training a lot on my own, so I'm super excited to go out there. I've already been making friends and, you know, like online, and just, you know, explore their trails and really have people to want to run with for once.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your great run yesterday.
Thank you so much. It was
and
great
have fun
to
in
see
the
you out
future.
there. Yes.